Good morning. How's everyone this morning? I hope you can hear me. I'm trying out this little new mic. Well, it's not new, but it's new here on this section. How are you guys this morning? Well, I kind of want to translate yesterday's sermon. Um, I'm gonna get to it, so I don't make a long video. The title of the sermon is "What is Faith?" And we can start by reading on Hebrews 11. Therefore, faith is the certainty of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen, because through it the ancients obtained good report. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed by the word of God, so that what is seen was made of what was not seen. By faith, Abel offered to God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, which he obtained testimony that he was righteous, God bearing witness of his offering, and dead, he still speaks for her. By faith, Enoch offered, no, by faith, Enoch was translated from seeing death, and he was not found because God transported him. And before he was transported or translated, he had a testimony that he had pleased God. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. For he who draws near to God must believe that he exists, and that he is a rewarder of those who seek him. Okay? Because without faith, it's impossible to please God, because he who does not have faith really does not know him and does not believe that there is a God. Believing that there is a God is a synonym of having faith. Because if there is something that we cannot see, but we still believe that exists, we can understand that as faith, because the word itself says it on the verse that we already read. So in 2 Corinthians 5 says, because we walk by faith, not by sight. What does that mean? We are believing in things we cannot see. Let's say you need a work, you need a job. You pray, Father, thank you for the job. Thank you for the job you already gave me. Thank you because I'm going to have good coworkers. My boss is going to be great. Thank you. You're thanking God for something you don't have, but you're believing that you'll have it, basically. That's the example I can give you. One of the ways that we can exercise our faith is through our struggles. Because when we have a problem, that's when we bow our knees, we get on our knees. Please, I need this miracle. You start believing, you start exercising, you start stretching what you know, and try to believe that what you're not seeing can be possible. You get more faith when you see what's broken being restored. You get more faith when you see that what's sick gets healed. You need more faith that when you're seeing what's dead resurrected. Sometimes we can speak about life and death on resurrection of a person, but we can also speak about a death marriage, a death relationship, a death work ethics, or all these things, or trust. Your trust has died over someone, that betrayed you or did something, we can see that resurrection. We can see that God can resurrect that area. All right? It's by faith that we believe that it's possible to get out of any circumstances, any problem that you have. It's by faith. Today here, as it was explained on Hebrews 11, many people by faith did what they did. Many people. Another way to exercise your faith is you're listening to the word. You're listening to the message, right? So what you're doing right now is listening to the message. And I also ask you to share this. If you want to share with somebody, share it on your timelines, share it on any of your social media. Just share it. You know, one of the things I didn't do, I was going to put a little bit of music and I totally forgot. Let's put a very low music just to so we don't fall asleep. So I don't fall asleep. Okay. So the other way is to listen to the word. So in Romans 10:17 says, so faith comes as a result of hearing the message. And the message is that is heard is the word of Christ. Okay. Abraham believed that he was going to promise that he was going to receive the promised land, even though he never really lived in it. Like for real. He didn't how do you say this word? He didn't really obtain it. He left in Canaan for a little bit, but he didn't really own it, right? But he still believed in the promised land. Sarah, with 99 years of age, even though she laughed at the beginning, she still believed she was going to have a child. She still had a child. God performed that one miracle. It was by faith that Noah made an ark, even though in that place it never rained. He worked for more than 40 years. Imagine 40 years being mocked. Being mocked. People are making fun of you for 40 years. Imagine that. Okay? So that's by faith. You believe something's going to happen. You do it by faith. You know, when the COVID came, there was this prophet of God, really good prophet of God. His name is Sadhu. He prophesied there was something big coming, a pest, right? A real big one. And he said, prepare, get your stuff ready, get your food ready, prepare. I believed. I took the word. What did I do? I prepared my house. I bought food. I bought waters. I bought a bunch of things, except for toilet paper. You know how the TPs were crazy. I don't know where you were crazy, but where I was crazy. Everybody was taking toilet paper. I never thought about toilet paper, honestly. But I got everything else. So my only struggle was getting toilet paper. It wasn't getting everything else. But because I believed in the word. So for grace, you have been saved through faith. This is not from you, but it's a gift of God. Not of works, so that nobody gets pride about it. You don't got to do words. You don't got to do works to receive salvation. But if you have faith, and if Jesus is in you, you'll have fruits. Those are works, fruits. You'll start doing things to show other people God's grace, God's love. And Ephesians 2:8 says, here we can see that what saved us in the faith that is given to us as a gift. So if you want to be healthy, you must believe. If you want to get healed, you must believe. If you want to get resurrected, you must believe. If you want to get delivered, you must believe. There's no other way. By the grace given to me, I say to all of you, let no one think more highly of themselves than he should, but rather think of himself in moderation, according to the measure of faith that God has given him. You can find this in Romans 12:3. Here we can obviously see that the faith has a measure. Your faith can be measured, and it's been given to you by God. It's not by us. It's not because you're cute. It's not because, oh man, look at all of my titles and all of this. I have to have. No. God gives it to you because of his mercy, his grace, his care. He thinks you can handle it. Gives it to you. Right? So yes, your faith can grow. Your faith can get higher, can get bigger. In Mark 9:24, it says, and immediately the boy's father cried out and said, I believe, help my disbelief. So we can see that this father here is the father that brought the boy that was demon possessed. He already went to the disciples, and the disciples cannot cast out the devil. They couldn't, right? Because they needed to be fasting, they needed to be praying more, they need to be, in another situation. And then he already came with like, okay, if all this bunch of guys couldn't do it, like, can this guy really do it? Like, really? So he had a little disbelief. He had faith, but then he did ask Jesus, hey, help my disbelief. I'm not quite believing it because I went through things and I can't believe it. So you can ask God to give it to you. You can ask God to increase your faith. Increase your faith. This one verse, I believe, because of this verse, I believe that God can increase your faith. Because here it says that the boy had already faith, the father had already faith. He believed. But he told him, hey, increase my faith so that I can really see what's going on. Do me the miracle so I can really believe that you are the Son of God. That you can do it. Okay? In Matthew 17:20, it says, because of the little faith they had, he answered, I assure you, if you had faith as small as a mustard seed, I don't have it here, but I show it on Sunday. It's very tiny as a mustard seed. You can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it would move. And for you, nothing would be impossible. Although faith can be increased, it is not necessary to be increased. So much faith is not required from us. Simply like this tiny little mustard seed. That's how much you need to move the mountain of your financial problems, to move your mountain of this sickness, to move the mountain of marriage problems. You only need that faith. And once you move that mountain, you can see on the other side that it was worth it. It was worth it to have faith. It was worth it to go through whatever you went through because you saw the outcome. Okay? In Romans 10:8 says, this is the word of faith we preach, that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. You will be saved. Because with the heart one's believe in order to be justified, but with the mouth one confess in order to be saved. So you got to start confessing. You got to start believing You gotta start pronouncing